your youngest son.
Yes.
And you added your daughter in just because she was there. That's
Yes.
kind of what happens with those kids. And now your oldest was still in school, but when COVID happened, how did that all change in your life?
Okay. So I will rewind just a little bit
Mm-hmm.
and say, so my older son, he was in public school, and then right around the time where we started homeschooling my youngest son, we decided to move him to an ABA clinic. The public school he was at was, I'm going to say, lost. They didn't know what that next step was going to be. They hadn't
Yeah.
yet gotten him started with a device or Proloquo,
Mm-hmm.
or communication was essentially the same. There hadn't been any progress, really. He wasn't reading yet. He was going into fifth grade. It
Mm-hmm.
was just, we were at the point to where we had sat down and said, do we like the way that this is going, or do we want to try a different path?
Right.
And so we decided, no, we're going to try something different.
I love it.
Um,
That word "try" is so in your vocabulary. I want to just to point that out to you, parents, because this is what makes you successful. Is you're willing to try. You're willing to test it out. If it fails, it wasn't what's meant to work. Okay, continue.
yes.
I love that.
And so we tried a, an ABA provider that was about 25 minutes away. And that was the perfect distance, and it went so well there. It was, I'm going to say, the very
Awesome.
first provider who just kind of instinctually just understood how to teach him and how to help him get his needs met. They got him started with Proloquo. He was successful within a few months. He took to it, and it was just so wonderful, and to watch him develop and grow. And we had a good, I don't know, 6 months of peace, I would say, because right around after that 6 months, our provider got into a legal dispute with our insurance company. And then and then everybody who had that insurance provider got pushed out. But while that was happening, they trained me in how to work with him.
Right.
And I want to say I may have had at least 4 full days of training that they gave me up there, just watching, observing, asking questions, going out into the community, learning how to use the device. I mean, it was really quality training for me. And so I knew what I wanted to see when we went to another provider.
Right.
And so from there, we decided to go with in-home therapy versus putting him back in school. And it just wasn't, the in-home ABA just wasn't what I was looking for. There were just a lot of gaps and things. It just wasn't a good fit. And then when COVID happened, I canceled in-home. And so we were all just home. And
that's the way it was.
Yes. And so it was, we had about 2 weeks there, I want to say, where it was just, what are we going to do? And I had some things that I just had around previously from times where I had wanted to work with him after school or try something over the summer. And then also around that time, at the beginning of COVID, everybody seemed to be coming out with like webinars or virtual field trips or all of these new and interesting things to do virtually.
Right, exactly.
Or try my program for 90 days or whatever it was.
Right.
And so I would go to a webinar, I would subscribe, I would get the free trial, download, and I was like, all right, we're just going to try it. We're just going to try it and see where it goes.
Yeah.
And so then I got my kids all in our little, I switched the therapy room, then became the homeschool room. I was like, all right, we're just going to try this. And so I had all the 3 kids lined up in front of me, and we were going to do this little curricula that I had found, and we were going to do it exactly the way they said that it was to be done.
It's supposed to be done.
and it worked. Like, it worked. And that's
Awesome.
that was the surprise, is that
Right.
it worked. And we were still doing speech and OT virtually. And
Mm-hmm.
I was so I had our speech therapist on the other side, giving me that support, because
Right.
it was an AAC curriculum. And I was like, okay, we're doing this and this and this, and I don't know what I'm doing with this, but I'm trying this. And he just started responding. And
Mm-hmm.
um, so then he started getting sight words, and now he's starting to recognize that different sounds go together. We're starting to put
Mm-hmm.
together words. And it's just things that I didn't know that he could do, that we had been trying to figure out how to
Right.
help him to do these things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was the magic started happening right in front of me. And
Wow.
that was, and if it weren't for COVID, I, I
You
don't
wouldn't
think,
have probably
no,
pushed yourself to that point.
no,
Right. Yeah.
no.
Yeah. I think a lot of families are finding themselves in new and interesting educational dilemmas and trials, and but it's the trying again. Coming back to that, what you were talking about is, well, let's just see if it works. And you could have dismissed this curriculum and said, well, it's not written for A, B, C. My kids don't fit this mold, and let's just throw that out the window. I've got to continue to search. But just trying it out and saying, wow,